and make sure that you know that we all human beings, we all on the same earth. So with that being said, you can achieve anything, if not more than what you see other people achieving.
In the span of just 2 years, Jarad Higgins went from a suburban Chicago high schooler uploading tracks to SoundCloud to a global superstar with a $3 million record deal, a #1 album, and a fan base that treated him like a legend while he was still here. He possessed an abnormal amount of talent with the ability to freestyle hit songs for hours on end without a single written lyric. But the very thing that made him a genius, his ability to channel raw, unfiltered emotion and dark thoughts directly into a microphone, was also a live broadcast of his impending doom. But there's another side to that. The same reason his music felt so real is because he wasn't pretending. A lot of what he rapped about wasn't just a vibe, it's what was actually going on in his head. Like in one of his songs, Lean With Me, where he straight up says, "What's the 27 club? We ain't making it past 21. And that hits different after everything. This isn't just a quick rise to fame story, but rather what happens when insane talent, non-stop fame, and real personal problems all collide at the same time. We're talking anxiety that keeps him up at night, depression he poured into every bar, and an industry that glorified the same drugs that were killing him. To understand the tragic end of Juice WRLD, we have to look at where he first started. Born Jarad Anthony Higgins on December 2nd, 1998, he grew up in the south suburbs of Chicago, but his household wasn't what you might expect for a future rap icon. His parents split when he was just 3, so it was mostly him and his mom, Carmela Wallace, a super religious single parent who kept things strict. Rap wasn't even allowed in the house. Instead, she signed him up for lessons early. He learned how to play the piano by the time he was 6, then guitar, then drums. He was a prodigy, and because rap was basically banned, he got put onto different sounds like punk rock. He was inspired by bands like Blink-182, Fall Out Boy, Billy Idol, and Escape the Fate. Hell, even video game soundtracks from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater shaped his ear. This restriction ironically became his secret weapon. By the time he reached high school and discovered freestyle rap, he wasn't just copying everybody else. He was able to fuse both rap and rock together, combining that emotional rock sound with heavy 808s and rap drums. Around 2015, as a sophomore at Homewood Flossmoor High School, he started uploading music under the name Juice the Kid, inspired by Tupac's role in the movie Juice. He recorded on basic setups, sometimes even on his phone in his bedroom. His first track, Forever, dropped that year, raw and unpolished. Most artists spend years trying to find their sound, but looking back at those early uploads, the blueprint was already there. He was vulnerable, he was melodic, and he was incredibly consistent. That consistency is a big reason why he blew up. He wasn't waiting for the perfect moment. He was building his own wave, dropping track after track about heartbreak, anxiety, and feeling lost. Stuff a lot of kids his age were dealing with but couldn't put into words. The internet moves fast, but in 2017, SoundCloud rap was a straight up gold rush. Everybody was chasing the next breakout artist. Juice dropped his first EP, Juice WRLD 999, that year, right after graduating high school, and it started turning heads. But when he dropped All Girls Are the Same, it caught the attention of Lyrical Lemonade's Cole Bennett, who was basically the biggest cosign you could get back then. The music video dropped, and overnight, Juice WRLD became the hottest commodity in music. Not long after, Interscope Records signed him to a deal that was reported around $3 million at just 19 years old, and for the label, it was the best investment they could have ever made, because what followed in May 2018 was the album Goodbye and Good Riddance, driven by the breakout hit Lucid Dreams, a song that sampled Sting's Shape of My Heart and peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. Juice WRLD wasn't just a SoundCloud rapper anymore, he was a superstar. That track alone got billions of streams. But fame hit quick, and so did the lifestyle. He started dating Ali Lottie around this time. She was there through a lot of the highs and lows, even moving in together. In interviews, Juice talked about how she helped him try to quit lean, but the pull was very strong. The success was insane. Tours selling out, collabs lining up, but it amplified everything dark he was already carrying. Juice's career began to take off really fast. However, his lifestyle took off even faster. He's recording non-stop, touring non-stop, doing interviews, performances, and there was more pressure and eyes on him. In late 2018, he drops World on Drugs with Future, and on paper, that sounds like a dream collab because Future was one of his influences. But there was a darker irony to that. Part of that whole era of music normalized heavy drug use, like it was just part of being cool. And Juice wasn't just rapping for aesthetic, he was actually dealing with it. He admitted in interviews to starting with prescription cough syrup as a teen, then escalating to Percocet and Xanax to cope with anxiety and heartbreak.
I'm not saying you need to go cold turkey, but you trying really too hard going. To get high instead of
you gotta go 2 weeks strong, and then that's like 14 days. That's like
because like
after that it won't be a problem to stop it.
Because look, if you let's say
at least physically you'll be
maybe to quit the addiction, but he needs to not do them for a while.
Oh no, I know.
You need to not do it.
But like, look, because if you still do one or two of them throughout the day, you're not gonna withdraw.
Done.
No problem.
You're not gonna withdraw if you still do like 1 or 2 or 3 in a day.
At the same time, his talent was becoming more evident by the week. An example of this was his Tim Westwood freestyle. That wasn't a one-time thing. That's just how he made music in general. He would step in the booth and just go. Whole songs, basically freestyle. Sometimes whole projects in a short time because he didn't overthink it. He just let it pour out. Like he'd record 20 tracks in a weekend. No pen, no pad, no nothing. Just straight off the top of his head. And then in 2019, he drops Death Race for Love and it hits #1. From the outside, it's like he's made it. But when you took a closer look, you could tell something was up. The pressure, the expectation, the drugs. At a certain point, hoping stops being coping and starts being dangerous. Juice even tried to quit multiple times. Ali pushed him. His mom knew. But the cycle was vicious. Songs like Robbery or Hear Me Calling were cries for help wrapped in hits. December 8, 2019. Juice is coming back to Chicago on a private jet from LA. When the plane lands at Midway Airport, law enforcement is there, having been informed by federal agents that they suspected there were guns and drugs on the plane. Law enforcement officials said that they found 70 pounds of marijuana on the aircraft and said several members of Juice WRLD's team aboard the flight told them that Juice had taken several unknown pills, including allegedly swallowing multiple Percocet pills while police were on board the plane searching the luggage. Juice had a convulsion episode and a seizure. 2 doses of emergency medication were administered as it was suspected that he had an opioid overdose. He was taken to the hospital and later that day, he dies. He was only 21. The medical examiner ruled his death as an accidental overdose involving oxycodone and codeine. All of this happened so suddenly, right in the middle of his peak. Looking back, a lot of Juice WRLD's songs weren't just catchy, they were warnings. People were singing along, reposting lyrics, making edits, but a lot of those lyrics were basically telling the world he wasn't okay. And the reason he still hits so hard today is because he made music for people who don't know how to explain what they're feeling. Millions of young people dealing with their own anxiety, depression, and isolation still use his music as a lifeline. He was able to perfectly articulate the mental health struggles his target audience didn't have the words for. Fans flooded social media after his death, sharing stories of how tracks like Legend helped them through dark times. Even after his death, his impact didn't slow down. He left behind a massive amount of unreleased music, and it's the reason his voice still feels alive in rap today, even years later. Albums like Legends Never Die dropped in 2020 and went straight to #1 with hits like Righteous, keeping his story going. His mom started the Live Free 999 Foundation to help with substance abuse and mental health, turning his pain into something that saves other people. Juice WRLD's story isn't just a warning about the vultures in the music industry. It's a harsh, uncomfortable reminder that no amount of money, platinum plaques, or global adoration can fix what is broken inside your own head. Juice spent his entire short career giving his fans the therapy they needed, but ultimately ran out of time to save himself.